Hi there, welcome again. We are back with more content for you. I am back with more content for you. Just a reminder, socials here. Click any panels below the channel to take you to your desired destination. It's either gonna say a website or Twitter or Discord, and it's gonna have the logo of what you are trying to access. So if you're looking to join our Discord for some insights of what the developers have in store, then certainly click on one of the Discord panels and engage in the conversation. I remember the ProtoPlay hashtag for any socials. And we'll get on with it. And our next team is Industrial Gameworks. And let's see what they got in store for us. Let's go. Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you, Bartek?
Hi there, I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I mean, I already said I'm amazing. I'm amazing twice. That's how good I'm feeling today.
Good.
Okay, so a few words about yourself. What's your name? And then just give a bit of maybe in few sentences, just a bit about your game and your team.
Yeah, so I'm Rico. I'm a producer and one of the designers on Vagrants for Industrial Gameworks. Industrial Gameworks was founded in 2017, or we've made a few games since then. Right now, we're mainly MMU graduates, and at MMU, we've all worked on projects before, so we know each other. We're all friends. And the game that we're creating is Vagrant Soul. It's a puzzle adventure game being built for mobile devices in mind. You play as a young monk journeying into the ruins of an ancient temple to find a cure for the disease that is slowly corrupting his body. And although this curse eats away at him, it does grant this young monk special manipulation abilities, which is exactly what you'll use for the gameplay. You'll use these abilities to manipulate the environment, solve loads of devious and deceptive puzzles, and explore the ruins to unlock the secrets that lie within.
There we go. That's pretty detailed description you gave us of your game. I appreciate that very much.
No worries.
Where did you get the inspiration for the game? The movement I'm seeing with the mouse click, it reminds me of when I was younger, I used to play these old, when there was an MMORPG explosion in the industry. I remember playing in MMOs, and the movement back then was actually, in most of them, clicking on the ground where you want to go. And the keyboard was sort of designed to be used for abilities only, you know? Is that something you ever considered when creating that?
Well, it's interesting because what we're doing here is a Windows build this, but actually we have touch-based input. So that's one of our primary game mechanics. So because it is being built for mobile devices, we want to keep the inputs to as less as possible. So when it's built to Android or iOS, you can actually touch the screen, and it will move the player there. Just for this build, though, we're using Windows, but when it is built to Android, you'll be able to tap on the screen and move it. When it comes to the actual original idea, this is a completely new idea from Transfuser. And I remember back in March, April, when we was coming up with the idea, we originally came up with another game concept. It's called Project Godlock, and it was a God game for VR. And basically what you do is you'd be God, and you'd control the masses. And you'd have to complete lots of different tasks and grow your civilization. But we noticed through a little bit of research that some other indie teams were making a similar game. So we thought, let's not get rid of this idea. Let's keep this idea somewhat and take some of the positive things that we like from it. The idea that there's a god, and there's the idea that there could be a curse and stuff like that. So we adapted that idea into the idea that you see now, Vagrant Soul. And we wanted to challenge ourselves a little bit as well and work on a mobile game. There's several reasons why we wanted to work on a mobile game. So we already have some experience in App Store integration, specifically Google Play. So we knew, how to build to the Google Play Store. We also wanted to be challenged technically. So, we're one of the few Transfuser teams that are working to make a mobile build. And it's also challenging to make a game that is specifically on mobile devices because it is, mobiles are on a small screen compared to our PCs, right? So that's another thing. And mobile phones are becoming increasingly more powerful as well. So our team leader describes it as consoles in your pocket, which is because they're becoming more powerful. And we saw an opportunity to make a mobile game where the game can harness that power from the mobile phone. So we decided to make Vagrant Soul and dedicate our resources to making it on mobile.
I see. Awesome. No, it's great to see definitely that you're challenging yourselves as a studio to keep developing, essentially, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. The progress, how they say, it brings happiness. So even though you might struggle a bit with the project, you are gonna improve upon from it, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a great opportunity to learn as well along the way. The team had to learn new skills and overcome challenges, and we've overcome quite a lot of challenges since we started development 3 months ago. So we're in a really good place, and we're really happy with the progress that we made so far.
I see. No, that's great. Very good to hear. If you're very happy with the progress, what's the best part that you're most happy about?
Yeah, so one of the things, as I just mentioned, that touch-based input is we're trying to make it as intuitive as possible. Wherever you tap, you'll be able to move your character. But also the character controller itself, the way it moves and the way it interacts with the objects, as you can see on screen. And we're very proud of that. It took quite a bit of doing, but it's in a really good place, and we're really happy with it. We're going to continue working on it a little bit more, but it's one of our most proudest achievements.
Awesome.
And of course, when people play the prototype demo, at the end there's a windmill puzzle, and we're quite proud of that as well. It's a large set piece puzzle that we've made, and so if people play the prototype demo, they can look forward to getting to the end of that and solving the puzzle there.
Very nice, very nice. There you go, guys. Some almighty puzzle awaiting you at the at the end.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
That makes me realize the boss battles of puzzle games are just really hard puzzles.
Yeah, they are. And that's one thing. That's one thing that we're going to look forward to in the future as well. Is making more complex puzzles as well.
Awesome. What about things that you would be looking to change going into the future of the development of this project?
Yeah, in terms of like the actual gameplay and stuff, or just in general in the future.
I think just like in the closest future, if there was something you would look to change in the current project, like what's a feature you would be looking to look into really altering it?
Yeah. I would say the puzzles, the puzzle mechanics, the puzzle elements that we've got so far are really cool, but we want to do more interesting things with them, kind of link puzzles together and get the player really challenge the player quite a lot with the thinking process and make puzzles that are quite memorable as well. So we're looking to find the fun and find the challenge in our game, because right now we've got our core systems in place. So everything that you see on screen, we've worked really hard on that character controller, the touch-based input system, and the puzzle mechanics. But we're looking now to try and put all that together to find the fun and find the challenge in our game.
I see. Awesome. It seems you have a very clear goal of where you're heading with the project, right?
Yeah. So if we talk about the project in the future, we have got our core systems in place, and after Transfuser, I don't know if you're gonna ask this question later. I'm sure you are, but
I was, but go ahead. We can. Don't worry.
Yeah. We're gonna reevaluate where we are with the project. We like what we've made, and we're really proud of it, and we might continue development on it, but we're gonna might take a step back and explore different areas. The main thing that we want to do as a company, as a team, is we want to make a fun game and bring it to market within a reasonable time frame. And by having our core systems, which are quite robust now, they're easily adaptable for other projects. So we can use what we've learned and adapt it and make other fun games too. But by no means does that mean we're stopping Vagrant Soul. We very much love the project and we love the idea, and we might continue development on it in the future.
Well, I certainly hope you will. Where did the name for the game come from?
Yeah, so I remember talking about this. Yeah, we were coming up with loads of different game ideas, game name ideas. Vagrant, the word itself just means wandering. It's just a wandering soul, and this is because the monk is cursed So his soul is cursed itself, and he has to go and find a cure to get rid of this curse that's on his soul. So right now it's you can imagine it as soul is just wandering in this kind of black void, right? And he needs to find it very quickly, which is why he's come to that temple to find a cure and find out what secrets that lie within inside. But the person that ultimately came up with the idea is our team leader, James. We came up with loads of different ideas, but we really like the name Vagrant Soul. So and I think it fits perfectly with the theme that we've got going on here.
I see. Awesome. Glad to hear. You mentioned that you've been developing other games, which I expect it made you a very experienced group of people, right?
So that's sorry.
I just wanted to add to that. So, what was your plan like going into Transfuser and ProtoPlay, and sort of how and did it change in any way?
Yeah, so our plan was to learn as much as we can with the Transfuser process, learn more skills and develop our skills technically and design-wise, but also get a better understanding of what it's like to be in the games industry, and what that would entail for us as an indie studio going forward, because that's something that we're looking into doing in the future. We want to continue as a team. We feel like Transfuse is a great opportunity to speak with the community, the game making community, and get some contacts that are quite valuable to us, and which will help us in the future when we do
certainly
transition to being a full indie studio.
So have those influenced your game development, or did they just open more opportunities for your studio? How was that community feedback from Transfuser and other contacts you got through that?
So with Transfuser, we were allocated a facilitator, and she's been Tara. She's been so amazing with helping us with the development of the game. I'm sure you're gonna ask this again about the target audience, but she's been really helpful with the marketing side, because she's a CEO of a mobile games company. So her expertise in that's really been instrumental in how we approach our development of our game. It's been great to have her feedback, and of course the Transfuser community, the other team members that are involved, they've been great. Everyone's communicating with each other and providing feedback all the time, and that's been really helpful for us, and I'm sure it's been helpful for all the other teams who are involved with Transfuser too.
Right, so were there actually any changes that you made based on that feedback you got?
So the feedback, there's two types of feedback that we've got. One type of feedback is playtesting. We've got a few of our friends to playtest.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I was wondering about the Transfuser and the ProtoPlay community, about those and how those influence the changes.
So just as I mentioned, having our facilitator there to help us, provide feedback on how we move our game on, and what kind of things can we change. So for example, and I'll touch on this later, but with the puzzles that we've got in our game, there wasn't as many in the demo, but we went back to our demo and added in more puzzles later on, because the feedback that we got was that our game should be more puzzle focused than story focused. We didn't know that at the time, but by getting that feedback and by having Tara explain to us how we can get that feedback has been really helpful in making sure that our game is engaging with our audience.
Awesome, that's great to hear. I forgot to ask, so what is your target audience then? Because you mentioned you had plenty of guidance with that. So who are you aiming for with this project?
So originally we didn't actually know who our target audience was, and that's mainly because it was a new idea, a new concept. We had an idea of who maybe we should be targeting. We know people that like games like Icon and Legend of Zelda, and them kind of puzzly games. They'd really like Vagrant Soul as well. So we went off that. But once we spoken to our facilitator, Tara, she gave us some advice, and she suggested running a test ad campaign. And a test ad campaign is a campaign where you put on some content that you've made from your game onto like social media. For example, we put ours on Facebook and Instagram, and then we measured the engagement from those ads to help us get an understanding of who our target audience was. So we ran this test ad campaign for a month, and we put on pieces of artwork, some gameplay of our video of our game, and we've seen which demographics engage with that content the most. And it's quite interesting. Over that period of a month, we got over 123,000 people seeing our ads over a month.
That's awesome.
With 9,300 post engagements on our Facebook and Instagram pages, and 529 link clicks. And the actual demographics, we had a broad appeal with men who were aged 13 to 34 years old, and they found our ads both on Facebook and Instagram as well. So we didn't originally know who our target audience was, but by doing this test ad campaign, we can now clearly see there's some appeal with men and boys aged 13 to 34 years old, and they seem to enjoy our game more than other age groups. But not just that. We use these metrics to help with the development of our game, as I mentioned before. So we actually spoke to a games industry executive who's called David Amor, and he told us how ad-based metrics can help us decide what our focus should be on our game. Because originally, like I said, we didn't know whether we wanted our game to be story-focused or more puzzle-focused. So by running another set of ads, we can say in these ads, so one ad will be more story-focused, one ad will be more puzzle-focused. And then with that age group, that 13 to 34 years old age group with men, we can target those guys and see whether they engage more with the puzzle or more with the story. And what we found is that our target audience engages more with puzzle than story. And that's why we went back into our demo and we added in more puzzles than we originally had. So we're taking that feedback from the community, from our target audience, and making sure that the changes in the game reflect those attitudes. And they wanted more puzzle, so we added in more puzzle.
I see. Yeah, very, very considerate. It seems that you are really taking it. Would you say it's something as an experienced team that you learned to do, which is look at all the metrics and the collection of data and use those to make the corrections?
Yeah. We learned, through the transfuser process that was important through Tara, our facilitator. So we really took that advice on and made sure that our game will, incorporate ad-based metrics to help us with the development of the game, and making sure that our target audience, the feedback that they give us will help with the development of our game. So that's been really useful, and we're going to continue doing that. So in the future, we might publish more ads to see how that reflects the game onto our target audience and further develop our target audience. So what we've done so far has been really helpful with the development of that game, and we'll probably continue that in the future.
Awesome. Great to hear. Awesome. Here we go. You seem to be covering absolutely everything, but I found one thing you could cover a bit more, which is players' feedback, actual, not statistics and not the transfuser teams, but the players itself. What was the reaction like to the game?
So I do want to mention that one of the player feedback that we've got from our friends was they absolutely loved the music in our game. And that's down to Sam McDonald, who's our composer, and he's done a wonderful job composing the music and also learning how to use Wise, which is a middleware tool that we're using in our game. And that's been really useful to have, because we can use dynamic audio to create a really good atmosphere in our game. And player feedback has been they've absolutely loved that, and we're really happy that they like that. Another thing is they like how the character controller moves. They like how you can manipulate the environment, you can move blocks, you can move light puzzles, and they really enjoy that too. And they enjoy the way the art style is as well. So we're going kind of with that Himalayan architecture kind of vibe, Buddhist kind of vibe, and they really like that kind of theme, which is something that we knew from the start we would like to do. We knew our game would want it to be inspired by Himalayan architecture, so we focused on that as our visual theme.
Why that particular architecture?
It's quite visually appealing, and we knew that our game would be centered around a god and monks and curses. We feel that architecture kind of reflects that kind of mood, I guess, and that kind of vibe. And also temples, Buddhist temples. Everyone kind of recognizes Buddhist temples, and Himalayan architecture kind of relates to those kind of temples. So yeah, we really like that kind of art style, and we ran with it.
I see. Okay. Just one more question is, do you have like a set in stone date for this project? I know you were sort of not sure if you were gonna continue the project as a team when you spoke about the future of Off-Brand and the commitment sort of to this. But if you were to decide to work on it, do you have any milestones that you have in place just in case you decide to do so?
Yeah. So we're careful to consider going forward, our time frames, because some of those might be getting jobs and stuff like that. So when it comes to milestones, we're being very careful about how we approach it. We are thinking later on, somewhere in the spring, we'll have a release version ready. It will be scaled down a little because we know that responsibilities will change in the future. Because, as I said, things change when in an uncertain climate. People might be getting jobs, and people, might be a little bit busy or a little bit have more free time later on.
Yeah.
So we're going to take all that in, and we're going to make sure as a team that we're organized to make sure that we get our game out, not in any rush or anything. We're gonna take our time, but we're at least aiming somewhere in the spring next year to really get this game going. If we continue to work on the game, if not, we'll be looking at other ideas and other concepts that we can run with, and we'll make sure our time frames for those games are carefully considered as well.
Awesome, yeah. So guys, just circle the entire spring in the calendars.
Yeah. We'll let you know through our social media as well. So
yeah, those
are our channels. We'll let you know.
Yeah, those are in the chat. I've linked them for you actually. You can check them. You can check the Industrial Gameworks on their website, fancy, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and their itchy.io, where I suppose you can download this game. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's a Windows build for now, and maybe an Android build will be coming out soon. But yeah, we can't wait for everyone to try it out, and yeah, make sure you look out for that windmill puzzle at the end. It's really fun.
Yeah, I actually think the PC version it almost like fits the game.
Yeah. So in the future, because of this touch-based input system, we're able to convert what we've done and make it into a Windows build if we wanted to in the future. So it's kind of flexible in that kind of thing. We can move it from Android to Windows after we release an Android or iOS build to the app stores. We can put it onto, for example, Steam later on, and that's really cool. That's great work from our gameplay programmer Josh to get that implemented. So it does run really well in Windows, so anyone can give this a shot and enjoy playing the game.
Awesome, yeah. If you would like to try it out, go ahead and click that Industrial Gameworks itch.io link and try it out for yourself. Anything else you would like to add? Any shout-outs you would like to give to your team?
Yeah, just shout out to the team and Industrial Gameworks. We've all worked incredibly hard on this over the past few months, and it's definitely been a lot of fun, and we've learned a lot. So shout out to James, to Josh, to Jevon, to Nathan, and to our other team members, contractors who are very much part of the team, to Sam, to Mai, and to Alex. You've all been great. And of course, thank you to Transfuser and UK Games Fund for the opportunity. We've really enjoyed it, and the feedback that we've been given and the support that we've been given so far has been great, and it's been really helpful for us as a team and individually as well. And also shout out to Tara, our facilitator, who's been really helpful and she's wonderful, and we can't wait to speak to her afterwards about our game, and continue our relationship with her. And and to all the transfuser teams as well. I've been on this stream today and yesterday watching all the games, and they all look really cool and interesting.
Awesome.
So I'll definitely be checking them out afterwards, and I'll continue watching after this as well. But yeah, great work, guys, from the transfuser teams, and can't wait to speak to you all after this interview.
Awesome. That's amazing. That's probably one of the largest shoutouts we've had before. Awesome. Thank you so much for chatting to me. I'm hoping to hear about your game next year in the spring then. I'll keep an eye on the socials. I have quite a job to follow everyone's Twitter once I have some time on my hands.
I've been following everyone's Twitter as well.
I'm really looking forward to all of these projects. Like you said, amazing job by everyone. Okay, with that in mind, thank you so much and take care.
Thank you, Bartek.
And guys, we are gonna be transitioning to our short break, and after I'm gonna introduce you guys to Incursion Games and their project and one of their developers. Talk to you soon.